I came here with a very big issue. But I don't care if you can or cannot help me. That's not the reason I came here. I came to tell you and to make it public. There could be other women who are going through the same ordeal and have no one to share with. And I know that with this confession, they will take something out of it. I met a man, and within 6 months, the man had rented an apartment for me and secured a shop for me. He gave me money to travel to Turkey to get goods for the shop, and he bought me a new car within those 6 months. I was so surprised. So my friends began to ask me what I had done to him for him to be lavishing me with all these gifts. And I told them that if it is time for God to bless me, He will bless me. After 6 months, the man proposed to marry me, and I was really surprised that during the whole of the 6 months of dating, there had never been sex between us, yet he went ahead to do all these things for me. He never touched me or even made an attempt to sleep with me. So when he made the marriage proposal, I never rejected it, and I went ahead to inform my family, to which all of them agreed because marriage is a good thing, according to them. So they all came to support us in the marriage. So prior to the wedding, I started asking myself some questions. I met this man within 6 months, and he has really helped me. He didn't even talk about sex and has gone ahead to marry me. So I will try to check if his manhood works or not. Because some men will marry you even though they are impotent. And you will get to realize this after marriage. So that evening, I started touching him to check if the man could perform. I realized it was working, which made him laugh, and he told me that because he had not married me, that's why he hasn't had an intimacy with me, for his manhood does work. So at the wedding reception, he sent me a video, and when I saw it, I said to myself, this evening will be fire for fire. Within the months that he hasn't had sex with me, there will be fire on the mountain when we finally get to bed after the wedding night. And the video was of 2 women playing romance. So I asked why he sent me the video, and he told me not to worry, he would explain everything to me when we got to the house. I had already made my plans to surprise him at the wedding because he had waited for a long time, and I wouldn't joke about it. So when we got to the house, I went to him and asked him the meaning of the video he sent me, and he told me it was a surprise he wanted me to do for him, and that got to me as a surprise. And I asked myself about the plans I have made to make him happy in bed, and I looked at what he was asking. I finally made the decision to do it. And he told me to consider what he has done for me within the last 6 months, which I agreed he has done very well, getting me a shop, an apartment, and a car. Not all men will do that. He wanted me to have sex with another woman while he looked on. So I asked him which woman I would do that with, and he told me he would provide for that woman. I was really surprised, but I couldn't reject it because he has really done well for me. So when the lady came, I was thinking he would leave us in the room all alone, but my husband brought in a chair and a drink and sat before us and started a conversation. All of a sudden, I realized my husband had gone naked, drinking and playing music at a loud volume. The lady he invited also went naked before both of us. I was really surprised and asked myself questions about how I would feel and whether the man would leave me after the sex with the woman because I had never done that before. But I said okay because he is the one who has asked me to do it to please him, and I accepted it. So the lady started pulling sex toys from her handbag, things I have only seen on TV and on phones. She pushed me to the bed and started touching and licking me. She used her hands and sex toys to have sex with me. At that moment, my husband was sitting before us, playing with his manhood. After everything, the woman left. After 2 days, my husband proposed a honeymoon in Kenya, and I became very happy because it was my first time traveling after Turkey. While at the airport, I saw the lady who came to have sex with me there, and I asked my husband what she was doing there. My husband then told me she was going with them to finish what they had started. I didn't reject it because I enjoyed the last sex I had with the woman. So I agreed. When we got to Kenya, I was thinking we would sleep in our separate rooms, but my husband insisted we sleep in the same room, and I didn't say anything, so I agreed. The lady started her usual thing with my husband naked before us. I started playing romance with the lady while my husband was masturbating. After the sex with the lady, I started getting addicted to sleeping with women, which made me lose interest in sleeping with men. This happened more often, and it became worse after the Kenya trip. At some point, my husband will invite university students while we have sex in front of him, with him masturbating and playing loud music, but he will never have sex with me. So one day, I asked my husband, "You've married me and have never had sex with me, what if I want to get pregnant? What would I do?" And he told me not to worry about giving birth, for when the time comes, I will give birth. So I asked him, how would that be possible since you have never touched or had sex with me before? The response he gave was that he would never in his life have sex with me, and I should count him out when it comes to sex with me. I was greatly astonished, asking myself which man I got married to. No kissing, no sex, no touching. But he never let me lack anything in life. Whenever the woman comes to have sex with me, any amount I want, he will give me. He will also give me money to travel, and this has gone on for so long. I asked him to at least have sex with me, and he bluntly told me that never in his life would he have sex with me. So if it is a man that I need, I shouldn't worry, he would get me a man. And I told him no, I didn't want to have anything to do with any other man apart from him. And he said he could never have sex with me, so I should forget about it. So I didn't say anything because I had nothing to say. And I couldn't say anything, so I went inside. After some days, he came to ask me about one actor. I always say he is my crush when we are watching a movie. He never said anything, and he went out. When he was returning, he came with my actor crush and told me to sleep with the actor since I wanted a man to have sex with. Not knowing he has paid the man to sleep with me, and I told him I never said I wanted to sleep with the man. He, my husband, is the only man I wanted to have sex with. He told me to forget about that thing. I had nothing to say because he never let me lack anything in life, so I had to listen to him in silence. When the actor was ready to have sex with me, my husband brought a chair before us naked while another man was having sex with me. What my husband would do to me, if you are a stranger and come there, you will always wish to be in my shoes. Because you will never come to the house to see us argue. There was peace in the house. We don't have any issues at all. So the actor slept with me while my husband played with his manhood. Whenever there is an issue in the house, my husband will call the actor to come and sleep with me because he realizes I have gotten addicted to the actor, and when the actor is coming, he comes along with the university students to have joint sex while my husband sits and masturbates. The only thing my husband does is sit and look on to masturbate, and he would make noise as if he were the one having sex with me. He pays them off afterwards. It got to a time when I was fed up and approached him to change his ways, which he told me was the only way he would become happy, and I became deaf and dumb instantly. I could not tell anyone, despite pressure from my mom to get pregnant. I told her not to pressure me with pregnancy, and when the time comes, the babies will come. So my mom will keep quiet and mind her business. So I was home one day when a strange woman came to the house, and I asked her what she was looking for. The lady told me she was looking for me, and I was surprised at how she got to know me and my house address. The lady laughed and said nothing. When my husband came, I told him of the lady, and he said he was aware, so we should come inside. This woman is different from the first lady. And this new lady is not a Ghanaian, which I have never seen before. When we went inside, my husband brought his music box and went naked before us, while the woman started bringing out sex toys from her bag. The lady went naked and started touching me on the bed. She had oil on her whole hand. She dragged her full hand inside me, and it was as if a man was having sex with me in a rough way. My husband was there, playing with his manhood. After having sex with the lady, my husband wanted to pay her off, which the lady rejected and said she didn't want money but wanted to join them as family. 3 days after the lady left, I started bleeding and continued for 3 months, after which the blood started ceasing. After that, I was experiencing watery conditions down there. I used more than 5 pads within a day. I am not even able to socialize. I am really going through a lot, but I can't voice it out. My husband always gives me money for treatment. He gave me money to travel to South Africa to see a specialist for treatment, but it didn't work out. I thought my husband would break from what he was doing because I was sick, but it didn't happen. My husband will call the university students and continue with his act. I was sick, so I wasn't involved anymore. The disgusting part is that my husband would invite his male friends to join him while they watched the ladies play romance. I advised him against that, but my husband never listened. I was there one day when my mom called me to say that my husband had come to divorce me, and when my mom asked him his reason, he told her to ask me. I told my mom I had done nothing wrong. After my husband went to my mother, he never returned to the house again, but when my health declined, he sent me money to see a specialist. My husband has left me in the house all alone. I can't go outside or drive because there is a scent all over me. I can't even answer my friends' calls, nor can my mother. One day I wanted to go out, so I called a lady who used to cook in the house, and she came. When she came and got closer to me, she couldn't stand the scent. The cook told me the first madam in the house experienced the same sickness, which her family brought for her later. She told me she could take me to my family if I wanted, which I rejected. Because I knew my family had nothing to offer me since I have traveled around the world for treatment, but none has worked. I married this man for 2 years, and I never met any of his family members. The people he introduced to me as family members went there, and they told me the man was just renting an apartment over there. I met the man at a church program. I am really suffering, which is why I came to see you, Pastor.